Here we go. Super spoiler review style. The Flash. Dun 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 dun. By the time y'all see this, the Flash movie will be out at every movie theater in the world. And I can do the spoiler review, which we're going to do now and have uploaded. Now, this movie was very entertaining, very colorful, and a lot of action scenes. Now, let's get to the gist of what we're talking about here, because this is the spoiler review. Holy shit! God, oh! The Flash spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the Screen Fiend spoiler review for The Flash, definitely do that. The Flash is one of my favorite characters in the DC universe because the comics were always great. See, that's one thing I noticed. One thing I noticed majorly about the comic book world. And when they go to film, meaning once they go to making their own movie in their own universe, things are different. Now, creating this flashpoint here, they were showing their multiverses basically colliding with one another, and the way they showed it and displayed it here looked a lot better than they did in the MCU. Of course, there's crazy cameos. There wasn't a mid-credit scene. There is only an end-credit scene. Now, the parts that I liked, I told you before in the original video, I couldn't discuss because it involved revealing some secrets. You know, Wonder Woman came up with her ceremonial display. That was something I didn't like. So we'll get that out of the way. Did not like Wonder Woman's participation in this at all. This was what was wrong with Justice League. It was starting to feel like the Justice League movie I didn't like. The one that was at the theater, not the Snyder Cut. They were going down that road for cheap jokes, cheap thrills. And I was like, no, don't go Justice League. Then, after that, they go full exit, and they turn this thing around. Thank God. They got her out of the film. Just like she was in Shazam. They just shoehorned her into the movie. She has no purpose, no nothing but comic relief. So now she's out of the way. So where does that leave us? With a real movie. So Barry Allen goes back in time because he misses his mom, right? But the story is so great. How one little thing could change everything. In Flashpoint, he goes back, and once he realizes that he could do that, he goes back in time like, whoa, I went back in time. He didn't touch anything the first time because he was just angry running and didn't know he could do that. So he went back, he didn't change anything, and said, whoa, I'm just gonna set everything back to the way it was. But here's the difficulty. He wanted to try to save his mom. He goes into the whole fucking thing, right? And what did he do? He grabbed one container of tomatoes because the mom forgot the tomatoes and sent the dad out to get tomatoes. So when he left, whoever came in and eventually startled and killed the mom, the dad was at the store getting the tomatoes. Now, the only problem with this and that's why I say I like the story. When making these slight changes, these slight changes had so much of a dramatic effect, just like Bruce Wayne was telling him. If you step on one blade of grass wrong, it could change things. You just don't know. So it's best to leave stuff alone the way you found it. But here's the news. They continued to do it. They had no problem continuing to mess up time continuance. They didn't care. Well, he didn't care. So, in the new timeline, they couldn't find Wonder Woman. Cyborg wasn't around. Aquaman didn't exist. His father was not married to, had a baby with a girl and a fish, so he wasn't created or born. And there was just problems on top of problems on top of problems. So now he's in a timeline where he exists. He thought he would only exist in that timeline because he was in it, but he arrived on the day, and it was only totally by accident, as something in the timeline knocked him to that point where he's 18 years old on the day he's supposed to get his powers. So Barry Allen makes him get his powers, or said, whoa, you can't go on this date with so-and-so. You got to get your powers today. So come on. We got to go. So, of course, something goes wrong. Because the other Barry, as I told you, was so damn annoying, I wanted to kill him. Super annoying. So, other Barry loses his power. Then the new Barry, the 18-year-old, he actually got his powers, so it worked. But other Barry loses his. So So now he doesn't have his powers anymore, so he can't go back in time. So now he doesn't know how he's going to get his powers back. But we all know if we all read the comics. So they try to recreate that moment. So they're thinking they're saving Superman because Zod's coming, so that must mean Superman's alive. And somewhere on this planet. Going by the name of Clark. So they go to try to save Superman after meeting Batman and his Supergirl. And there is no Superman on this planet yet. Or his pod got lost and they can't figure it out. Zod is on a single mission of trying to find out where this core is and all of these different things. And what they end up finding out okay, there it is that this engine does not exist. Not in this timeline. In fact, what ends up happening is something even worse than they've ever imagined. That's right, good people. Superman is dead, and Zod had already killed him and intercepted him when he was a baby. The child never grew up. So this makes Kara goes crazy once they find her. And she just starts saying she was going to help him only because Barry chose to save her, even though she wasn't the one they were looking for. It's like, we can't just leave her there. And he didn't even have his powers yet. The new Barry had it, and he was so goddamn annoying. Oh my God, he's so annoying. And once I'm the Flash, and he just does stupid shit after stupid shit, I was ready to kill him myself. Now, Michael Keaton as Batman did a great job with his fighting scenes and his moment in the film. I loved everything about that. Any scene that had Keaton in it was gold. No. The way I saw it, hell to the no. Did I see or think anything other than when I saw what was laid before us when this film came out? You see, the moral of the story was this. You either are involved or not involved. Period. And that's how the approach was in this film. You were either all in or all out. Now, when the worlds were colliding, my favorite part of the movie is when Barry realizes, I can't save. Mom has to die. That's the best. That's my favorite part of the movie, is when they find out that mom just has to die. I can't. This world won't survive. If I make that sacrifice, the whole world ends anyway. So she's gonna die. By me letting mom live, this scenario plays out this way. I create a world where there is no metahumans. Just my meddling. So they go back, and as he's hitting the Speed Force, young Barry accidentally hears that mom dies. So he goes insane and starts doing everything in his power to stop it. He goes, we can save mom. We can save mom. So he goes on an all-out attempt to save his mother, trying to fix everything that happens. See, the beautiful part about this that I love is the fact that Zod wins. Zod wins, people. Zod wins. Zod. So Zod won. And every time they go back to try to fix it, Zod wins again, and again. Michael Keaton's Batman dies. Everything kept going on bad. They lost. And I mean badly. Supergirl got killed. They took everything from Supergirl.
Black and red are not blood colors. You cannot say those.
You did everything that was supposed to be done. Well, you have to make a decision. Save mom or save everyone. Flash, baby. Save everyone, right? But mom's gonna die anyway. So he's trying to get other self to believe it. Other self keeps trying to fix it. Because now he's learning how to go in the past. He's running around trying to fix it, trying to fix it, trying to fix it. He can't fix it. It's broken. So now that he can't fix it and the other Barry is not there, why are you just standing here? Come on, let's fix it. He just don't see it. After getting his powers back, of course, he's trying to tell him, you don't see it. You can't fix this shit. You can't fix it. It is broken beyond repair. You're not going to be able to fix this. What you can do is put this to bed. We got to go back and let mom die. 1 can of tomatoes is all it took. Mom had forgot the can of tomatoes, sent dad out. Dad's not there, and she gets killed. So when she comes back, dad's trying to get the knife out her chest, and he's saying, call 911. Somebody kills her. So he knows he has to go back and undo that. Because what he did to fix things, it says if mom doesn't forget that can of tomatoes, then she don't send dad out. And then they can stop this, whoever came to kill mom wouldn't have came to kill mom. He just saw dad was home and said, nah, I can't go there. Dad's there. And would have left. So, right away, they see that angle, right? And now there's birthdays, there's everything going on that wouldn't have happened if mom didn't have an incident that happened. So he's starting to learn from other people. And, the motto of this is we have to learn from death and move on. The pain of that loss molds you into the person you is. It gives you extreme focus. Use that energy, use that love, use the teachings, use all the knowledge that they leave to you. But this is a normal part of life. It happens. But we have to move forward. That's the message of the movie. So as I told you, the story was great. Barry arrives to the point that this has to happen. So he has a tearful goodbye to mom. He puts that can of tomatoes back. And right before he leaves, he notices something. He noticed where the camera is. And they got the camera footage of the father in there, but he never lifts his head up because there was no need to. So he made another slight little change. He puts the cans of tomatoes at the top and moved the other ones at the bottom. That little slight thing to get his dad to lift his head up so dad can grab the tomatoes. By him doing that, dad is now free from court because it shows he was at the store. And all of a sudden, dad'll be free, mom is gone. So dad is cleared from the murdering of the wife. So he made that change. But in the Speed Force, when they were putting all the planets together, the cameos, here we go. While doing all this, they go ahead and make something even more incredible. They show all these different levels, different sections of planets and worlds, which is the older.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode.
They show older people there and they habitats and what was going on. They showed all of these different things, right? They were there forever. Now, they start showing this whole planets of Superman, from the very first Superman all the way down. They were showing the sections of Batman. You saw Adam West. You saw all these different sections. And we saw one Superman fighting. It was the Nicolas Cage version of Superman. And what was weird and what was funny about it is that I knew it right away by looking out the outfit. It's the Superman outfit that they were creating for him. And the way the Tim Burton version looked. When he had the long, weird punk rock hair. So they just used the design to make a CGI thing. And it looked okay, but, some CGI scenes didn't work. But I love that scene. It worked. Then, at the very end, they show all of these variations, and then they go back. You saw Superman with Supergirl. They show Christopher Reeve. And then they show the girl that actually played Supergirl the first time. From the movie that really sucked. But she shows up right next to him as they were together. So that must have been in our timeline. And it showed that it was splitting. Everything was splitting. Those worlds were colliding with one another, messing up everything. So they had to fix it. And the only way to fix all of the things that they've done was to clearly go back and take care of it the right way. Yeah, well, they took care of it the right way. Barry had to go back. So the thing shows up, the one that knocked Barry out the first time, and said, "Aha! I made you get rid of Barry. It was me." He's actually Barry also. He's the other Barry that keeps trying to go back in time fixing stuff. He ends up becoming that of what he becomes because he keeps going back in time. So he's going back, all of that, trying to save mom and all that. I almost got it fixed. He's in there messing things up. So other Barry's seeing that this is how he's going to become because he keeps doing this. He says, "You're the only anomaly I got to get rid of." So he tries to kill the Barry Allen that we know. And new Barry jumps in the way and gets himself killed and basically kills himself. So that thing disappears, and that disappeared as he purposely threw the other Barry there so that the other Barry can create him. That was supposed to happen. Now, they get to the very end, and at the very end, they at the courtroom, Dad's freed. Bruce Wayne, he's talking to on the phone, in his earpiece rather, and the car's pulling up. Same car Affleck was in when he got there and told him that Mercedes. The door opens, and who comes out of it? Now, I remember when they shot this scene, Michael Keaton was the one that got out of this car. Unless this was misdirection, I think they shot multiple Batmen doing this role so that it would throw people off. But the Batman that we see in the film is actually not Ben Affleck, not Christian Bale. The only Batman we see is George Clooney. Clooney is Batman. As he walks up and he goes, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Wait a minute, you're not Batman." You go, "What are you talking about?" So he knows now. So Affleck is gone, not his Batman, but now it's Clooney. So it is shifted once again as Clooney is back as Batman. And then it ends. And that is The Flash. So, like I said, please don't watch this and spoil it for anybody. Go watch the movie. Go to the movie theater. Check it out. The Flash! 3.5 stars out of 4. I love the fact that Supergirl didn't win. She got killed every single time. I hated to see that Keaton died. But they brought him back as Batman. They brought him back to be that hero. But now that they went back in time, Keaton is still alive. In his timeline, in his dimension, he's still Batman. Yeah, so like I said, I'm out. Thanking you